are back with another video. Today I'm doing something different. As you can see in the title, I'm gonna tell y'all a little story about a well-known killer. His name is Jeffrey Dahmer. I know everybody knows him. Literally everybody. He is one of the most popular killers in the United States. And he was also well known in the state of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Funny story, I actually went there for a little vacay to see my best friend, but I knew that there were some things about Jeffrey Dahmer there, so I was like, let's go to Wisconsin. Let's go to Milwaukee. See what's there for like Jeffrey Dahmer. Not like oh, we praise Jeffrey Dahmer, because no, that'll be fucked up. But no, it was actually very cool. It was dark, like very dark. I can put some of the pictures that I took in the video, but we went on a tour, Milwaukee. We had to meet up at a bar, and believe it or not, the bar that we had to meet at was Jeffrey's regular bar. Like, he was there every single day. So, like, I didn't find that out until after the tour. So, didn't really think of anything. But, like, it's so funny because when I was there, I was like, this is the type of bar Jeffrey would go to. Like, you know, like, the vibe was just different. Like, I don't know. But, I'm going to show the picture right here. I did get to see where his apartment was, where he was living at. It did show in the Dahmer show on Netflix. So, put the picture right there. But yeah, we're just gonna get into it. Towards the end, I'm gonna shout out to the victims' names. I'm not gonna do all of them, just because I know this video is already gonna be long as hell. But I just want to at least, like, hey, like, so sorry for your loss. Like, to the families, you know? But, yeah, let's get into it. So, Jeffrey Dahmer, like I said, is one of the most known killers in the United States. It was from the year 78 to 81, 1978 to 1981. I'm sure all of you know this, but he was a cannibal. He preyed on young boys, either young boys or older men. He didn't go for any girls. He wasn't that type of guy. During those years he murdered and dismembered 17 young men. Didn't know this, but he was also known as the Milwaukee Cannibal. So that's a fun fact. Haha. So, when I was younger, I heard about him, but I never knew, like, what he actually was, like, who he was. I first learned about him when I took a forensics class in high school, and I had to do a presentation on one of the serial killers, one of the most popular serial killers, and Jeffrey Dahmer was mine. So after I learned about him, and I was like, damn, like, this dude did a lot. It kind of disgusted me, because very messed up. After I learned about him, some of my classmates got me into the movie. It is on Hulu if anyone wants to watch it. It's called My Friend Dahmer, and it basically shows Jeffrey growing up. Like not like from a kid, but like teenage years. It doesn't like actually show him killing. It only shows like what his process was, like his transitioning, him transitioning into the killer that he was. So that was a pretty good movie. Ross Lynch was Jeffrey Dahmer. Again, it's on Hulu if anyone wants to watch it. But other than that, I'm going to get right into it. So I'm going to start off his childhood, because to me that is very important. You know how some people have traumas when they were little, so they end up doing something like messed up when they were growing up, and you're like, how did you get this way? Childhood. That's how you get it. He did have a very rough childhood. He didn't really get much attention when he was younger, and it got even worse when he had a baby brother. So originally, Jeffrey was born on May 21st, 1960 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He was the first of two sons. Like I said, he has a younger brother. His name is David. His dad's name was Lionel Dahmer. He went to school for a scientist when Jeffrey was still a little boy. His mother's name was Joyce Lunette. She definitely had a lot going on. She had really bad depression, and I believe she was doing drugs when Jeffrey was little. She always picked a fight with her husband, Lionel, and she just craved attention. Like, she just wanted everyone's attention. She wanted the stage. She wanted everything. Like, nothing was enough for her. So that's why she would always fight with everybody. She was very greedy, very tense. She was also a hypochondriac. There were reports that Jeffrey was deprived of the attention when he was a little boy, either that or the opposite of attention. Later on, when he was in first grade, he was around 6 years old. His father's studies kept him very busy, so he was always at the university studying. When he was home, his wife was required for all of his attention, like I said. There was one situation where Joyce tried to commit suicide by taking too many pills, so obviously there was a lot going on in their household. I'm going to skip to middle school. So in middle school, Jeffrey didn't have much friends. He was always like the quiet kid and stayed to himself. He failed a lot in his grades. During high school, he did have a couple of friends, not too many, just a couple. One of his teachers did notice an early sign of abandonment because she would watch him. Oh my god, I just stubbed my fucking toe. Oh my god. Okay. But no, she would observe when he was in class. So we're gonna start getting into Jeffrey's weird habits. So when Jeffrey was young, he was interested in and intrigued by dead animals. It started when he was at a young age. He started to collect insects like dragonflies, butterflies, and he would put them in jars. Things got a little more strange after that. He started to collect animal carcasses, and he brought his friends because he thought it was very cool. When he would find the carcass, he would take it home or keep it in the woods, and he would dismember it. According to his friends, he would take the animal apart, put different parts in jars. He would store those jars in his family's tool shed, which was in the backyard. His animal obsession happened when he was 4 years old. When he was 4 years old, he watched his dad remove animal bones from under the home, and his father said that Jeffrey was very strangely intrigued and thrilled by the sounds that the bones made. After he watched him do that, he started to look for bones around himself around the house or under the house. When Jeffrey was 6, his family moved to Doylestown, Ohio, and was there until his younger brother was born, David. His parents allowed him to name the baby. This was the same year that his father graduated from college. Okay? And he became a scientist. So we're going to skip forward to his teenage years. He went to Revere High School. From freshman year, he was seen as an outcast. What I mean by an outcast is, this shows in My Friend Dahmer, the movie. He liked to, no, can't say, okay, so he had a couple of friends. Like, he had a very, very, very small friend group. And he was only friends because of the things that he would do. Not for his personality, but the things he would do. He would go out in either public or in school and do with the dahmer, which was him pretending him having seizures or acting special. And everybody thought it was funny. So then he got a little popular just because of that. Again, not from his personality. At 14, his liquor addiction started. He had been drinking beer. He would drink beer in daylight hours, or before school, during school, and also after school. He was never good at communicating with people. His teachers and staff thought he was polite enough. They recognized his intelligence, but he had failing grades. He didn't try at all. When he hit puberty, he discovered that he was gay, but he only kept that to himself. He didn't tell anyone, not even his parents, not his friends, no one. He was the only one that knew. So once he found out, he began to have these fantasies of him dominating and always having it his way, like the controlling one in the partnership. He noticed that his favorite part of a man's body is the chest, like a muscular, manly chest. These fantasies began to grow and get dark. For example, there was this male jogger who always jogged down Jeffrey's street. He started to be attracted to him. He had fantasies with him. There was one day he sat in the bushes with a baseball bat, waiting for him to run by. Thankfully, he didn't run by. That was his first actual attempt in harming someone. So he didn't kill him. I can't say he wanted to, because it was his first attempt in hurting them. So like I said earlier, he was an outcast. He became the class clown from the pranks and everything. By 17, his grades really started to decline. His parents hired a tutor to help him, but it didn't make much a difference. Like, he still didn't try. That same year, his parents filed for divorce. His father moved out and lived in a hotel nearby for temporary. In that same year, Jeffrey also graduated. Very surprised of how he graduated, since he's been failing a lot. In spring, his mother and younger brother moved out to live with some family in Wisconsin. At the time, Jeffrey lived alone. He was 19. It has been 3 weeks after his high school graduation when he committed his first murder. June 18th. He was driving in his car, saw a hitchhiker on the road, somehow convinced him to go to Jeffrey's house, have a couple of beers, and then he would drive him to a concert that he was going to. Mind you, the hitchhiker had no shirt on, so remember what I said. He was very into the muscular chest. So that's what he did have. So that's what caught his attention. So the guy was like, oh, cool, yeah, we can go to your house. And then on the way there, he started talking about girls. So Jeffrey was like, oh, damn. Like, I can't really do anything unless I have to forcefully do something. So they had a few drinks. He stayed for a couple of hours. And so he was like, all right, man, I really have to go. Like, I have to get to this concert. Jeffrey was like, no, stay. Because he really didn't want him to go because he was, like, so lonely. The dude's name was Stephen Hicks. I believe he was 19. He tried leaving, and Jeffrey hit him in the head with a dumbbell. After that, it took him a couple minutes to actually, like, die. After he finally died, he had his way with Stephen. He got to live his fantasy sexually. After that, after he was done, he took Stephen's body and hid it under the house. A few weeks later, dissolved his body parts in acid. He smashed all of his bones and spread it across the backyard. So basically, he wanted Stephen to still be there. 6 months later, his father and stepmother moved back into the house. Jeffrey eventually enrolled in Ohio State University to major in business. But as he got older, his alcohol abuse got worse and worse. He again had horrible grades. His GPA out of a 4.0 was a 0.45. That's not even half a point. After 3 months of school, Jeffrey dropped out. In 1979, his father urged him to join the army. His alcohol got worse again. And in 1981, he did get discharged. He then moved back in with his father and his stepmother. Only 2 weeks later, he got arrested for drunk and disorderly conduct. That's not cool. He was held in jail for 10 days. His father couldn't take him anymore, so he was like, you need to go live with your mother. I'm tired of you. Get out. He found a job at a phlebotomist center. He only had this job for about 10 months. After that, he was employed for 10 years. He was living off of grandma's money. In 1985, he got another job in a chocolate factory. He got to get familiar with gay bars in Milwaukee. Around this time, he did steal a mannequin from a store, used it as a sex toy. He stored it in a closet, and eventually his grandma found it and made him get rid of it. Eventually, he got into this pattern of luring young boys into either hotels or his grandmother's house. He would drug them, give them a drink, sneak some drugs into their drinks, and then they would pass out. Then he would have his way with them. and then he would end up killing them as well. This did happen a few times in his grandmother's house, but eventually she started to smell weird smells around the house. He was bringing random men into her house. She just didn't like this behavior, so she made him leave and get his own place. He was then again arrested for sexually fondling a 13-year-old boy. His father hired a lawyer for him, just trying to get his son out of trouble. He had to go through so many psychological tests and everything. There was one time, I believe it was a 14-year-old. It was after he got his place. Cops got a call saying a young boy was running around naked. They went to Jeffrey's apartment complex. Jeffrey tried saying it was his boyfriend. Cops believed him somehow. Sadly, let him go. Then he killed him. He did kill a deaf dude, which is really sad. Cause, okay, so this one does show on Netflix. Bro, this is so bright. Okay. The deaf dude, they hit it off really good. Jeffrey started to find some ways to communicate with him. He would write down notes, write to him, and then he would write back. And then eventually he actually started getting feelings for him. But then he was like, no, what am I doing? Like, he basically acted like it was his job to kill him. That's it for now. I am going to start to read the victims' names just to honor them and their family. So, first kill, Stephen Hicks, he was 19. Stephen Tumoy was 26. Jamie Dockstader was 14. Believe that's the one that I was just talking about. Richard Guerrero was 25. Anthony Sears was 24. Ricky Beeks was 33. And Eddie Smith was 28. I wasn't gonna do all of them just because I know there's a lot. But yeah. Let me know what you guys thought. Really appreciate if you guys would throw some feedback. This is my second video. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell button so you don't miss a video. But yeah. See y'all next week. Peace out.